Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
February 3rd is the day the magic happens. The Von Braun, the first starship in history capable of traveling at faster than light speed, will undertake her maiden voyage. This incredible journey is the result of teamwork between the UNN Protectorate and the incredible scientific minds at the newly relicensed Tri-Optimum Corporation. Imagine being able to travel to distant star systems in a period of weeks. It's all part of Tri-Op's commitment to the future. The Von Braun is packed with over 1.8 billion flight, scientific, and security systems, nearly all developed by Tri-Optimum and its wholly owned subsidiaries. Providing security for the Von Braun as she plows through the heavens will be the UNN Rickenbacker. At her helm will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself, hero of the Battle of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action. This incredible union of government and corporation is made possible by an intricate series of docking mechanisms that will allow the Rickenbacker to piggyback its way into jump space. Sleek, fast, revolutionary. Who knows what wonders await our crews in the bosom of the cosmos? All we do know is that it's a great day for mankind.
This is Dr. Ruby Delacroix of the UNN Von Braun. We've been hijacked by an unknown force. Ship security has been compromised. Do not allow the ship... Repeat, do not allow the ship to leave under any circumstances. I don't know what we're up against here.
One of the greatest games of its time, and yet one of the more obscure games of its time at its point of release. Welcome to System Shock 2. I'm going to give some fair warning here. There's going to be a fair bit of exposition in this first segment here, so you're not going to hear me go on too much of a tangent, especially with the voices that we're going to be hearing in the throughout even when we start walking out of this bloody thing. So we'll just get that over and done with, and then I can go on a bit of a tangent about how this playthrough is going to go.
Welcome to the Ramsey Center UNN Recruitment Facility. Please watch your step when leaving the train. The grav shafts at the end of the hall will take you to the street-level training and recruitment center. Please proceed to the grav shafts. Step into the grav shafts to proceed to the street-level recruitment.
So one of the first things you may notice is, yes, I am actually using some texture packs. I'm using SS2 tool, which is pretty much just like the norm for all this sort of thing. And there is a random foam, which we will have absolutely nothing to do with. I don't know why. And I don't know why there's just these random rubbish bins all bloody tipped over and spilling all of their contents all on the floor, and it's all unhygienic and crap like that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to jump up here for no adequately explored reason, except, yeah, there's just sort of random basketball just sort of sitting there. So we're going to grab that, and the purpose of this basketball shall be revealed in like 20 million segments time. Maybe not that much, because I do know a fair bit about this game, and I've been doing a bit of rehearsal, so this is actually a hard playthrough of the game. I could have easily done Impossible, but I think the problem with Impossible is the low amount of HP. The playstyle I adopt with playing games in general is just I take a lot of hits, so it's not exactly a good idea to have like 7 HP and just keep getting smashed in the face by pipe hybrids, if you understand that sort of thing. So anyways, we'll just sort of head in here.
Before you choose your career, you'll want to learn some basic abilities. First, you should go into the basic training center. When you're done with basic training, proceed to the advanced training area.
And we're just going to skip this. It's not really that interesting. It's basically just showing you the basics of the game, which I'll just be going through once we actually get into the game itself, so there's not much point in wasting our time here.
If you've completed basic training, you're ready for the advanced lessons provided here. Advanced training will familiarize you with the 3 key areas of military service: weapons training, technical training, and psionics training. Approach the Cyberlink booth of your choice to train in that area. When you finish training in the 3 areas, proceed directly to the recruitment center to choose and start your military career.
So I think it's pretty much here what it says on the tin. Weapons, you just learn how to shoot shit. Technical, you learn how to mess around with computers and stuff like that and being able to hack and whatnot. And if you're like a head case, you can just project psionic powers and start hurting people, or just like enhance your own abilities.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. A shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings. Good luck.
So for the 3 branches we have the Marines, and these guys are pretty much just the run and gun, shoot 'em up, all the buff sons of bitches. I haven't actually played this in quite a while, but I'm not going to do it this playthrough because it's pretty much just like blow shit up and do pretty much nothing else. It's not really that interesting when you think about it. I mean, you get to see a whole lot of explosions, but if you wanted Marines, you'd go and play Doom. So the OSA, we have, this is the psionic specialists. These guys, you start off with a psi amplifier, which you'll then use to project your psi disciplines and whatnot, and basically just focus entirely on psionics, because you can also focus on other bits and pieces, but it's primarily psionics you're going to be focusing on when you go through this. And then the Navy is basically sort of adds the 2 of those together, but is a lot more proficient in the form of being able to use technical abilities such as hacking, repairing, modifying, that sort of stuff, which is quite nice to have. So I'm going to go for the Navy, since it is actually quite a well-balanced career to actually go through. So it's actually pretty damn awesome, and it sort of reflects me, because I like to be a bit of a jack-of-all-trades sort of thing. And this cutscene has no dialogue, so it's pretty much just like, oh, we're flying off into some random place in space. So I should actually establish a pointless fact. This image of the Earth is actually its own separate texture pack download. I don't know why, but it's just sort of there. It's basically just the creator. I think I saw like a quote somewhere, like basically the creator just sort of spit shining the crap out of this game. But he actually did a pretty good job with all the bits and pieces that he did. He didn't do it. I don't think he did an upgrade for everything. I think there are still some of the weapons in particular that still haven't got a upgraded to their texture package. I think he like gave up on it. I'm not 100% sure about it, but they did do all of this sort of jazz and make all these look really, really nice and clear, because these used to be all blurry, sort of like what this is, but you know, it's a sort of a thing.
Welcome aboard the space station Chesapeake Bay, sailor. It looks like you've picked up some standard weapon skills at basic on Coronado Island. Now it's time for your tour of duty. Your tour will consist of 4 postings over 4 years. In this man's Navy, you're given a choice of 3 different postings a year. It's up to you to decide what kind of career you want to have, so choose wisely. Just approach a shuttle bay to receive a briefing on a posting. If you think that posting is right for you, head into that bay to accept the assignment.
So I think that weird-ass robot, I'm not even sure if it's even the robot who's actually explaining everything, but whoever was explaining pretty much did a decent job of explaining it, but it's much better to actually get to this point and actually show off. Basically, each pathway you take 3 of these, and then you get into the main game. Each of them have their own unique little bonuses that you get, and it basically creates your base character for when you actually start the game itself. So we're going to have a look at all these.
The UNN Lucille is looking for volunteers for their military police detachment. Those sailors can get pretty rowdy on these year-long cruises, so you better not be afraid of a tussle.
So, as the military police, you'll gain a level in strength, which you'll get for all the others, so you're going to get strength no matter what you pick.
The UNN Lucille is looking for volunteers for their military police detachment. Those sailors can get pretty rowdy on these year-long cruises, so you better not be afraid of a tussle.
Thank you, game, for repeating what you just said, even though it really shouldn't have been doing that. But yeah, you also get the ability to modify in this particular posting, which allows you to modify your weapons and make them a little bit more efficient in terms of their clip capacity, especially the case in stuff like grenade launchers and pistols and stuff like that. And of course, they can be more accurate and all that sort of jazz, which is quite nice.
The UNN Lucille is looking for an engineer's mate to help maintain the ship's core energy systems. There's some heavy lifting involved, sailor, but you'll learn your way around the high-tech equipment.
So if you go through this one, you get a point in repairing, and that basically just allows you to fix up broken stuff around the joint. Like there's some broken, I think that there's one broken keypad through the game. In the game, there's a whole bunch of replicators that are broken, and if you want to get a gun as quickly as possible, then it would be good to get the repair ability so that you can find one, especially a shotgun off of a shotgun hybrid. You can just grab it off them and fix them up and fix it up as soon as you grab it. But overall, the repair module, the repairability for me, it's not really that efficient because I don't mind waiting to get a shotgun because there'll be shotguns in really good condition not too far into the game or something like that, and it's not really that big a deal for me, so I'm not going to take repair.
The UNN Lucille is looking for an ops training officer to learn the ship's navigation and data control systems. You'll get your feet wet with the high-tech systems, but also expect some heavy lifting.
So this one will give you a level in hacking, and that allows you to hack security terminals, security crates, and a whole bunch of other bits and bobs that will actually help you out throughout the course of the game. Security crates are pretty much paramount because they contain a whole bunch of goodies that you can pick up and add to your inventory. And it's nice to have a surplus of stuff, especially stuff like med hypos and rad hypos and that sort of jazz. So I'm going to grab this one. I could easily grab modification, but one of the primary things is that both hacking and modification, as well as repair, they each have a certain item that allows you to instantaneously perform that service or like ability without actually having to use without the need for the level or any of that sort of jazz. It's basically just instantaneous. And for the hacking, there's only 4 of said item compared to the modification, modification item of which there are 7 of them. So it's probably better off to just use the hacking. I'm still probably going to end up using the hacking item once we've actually, I'll reveal it once we actually find one. But point is, I'm probably still going to end up using them for later things, because I don't really want to go to level 6 hacking, because you will need maxed out hacking to do a couple of things. So we'll see what happens.
Laverne, Florida hosts the Navy's premier tactical training school. While maybe not as respected as the Marines facility at Fort Bush, there's a lot to be learned here.
So this will give you 2 level boosts in the standard weapons ability. You already have one, which just basically comes with the trade of going for the Navy or the Marines. But this one will boost it to a point where you can easily just grab a shotgun and start blasting the shit out of stuff. And I've actually found in past playthroughs that as the Navy officer, I'm not too sure if it counts for the Marine as well, but as the Navy officer, I've actually found that you only need level 3 of standard weapons in order to use the assault rifle, when you can usually only use it once you get to level 6, which is kind of a thing. So if I was to go through this, I would be at level 3, which means as soon as I had access to an assault rifle, I would be able to use it immediately. But like I said before, I don't mind waiting for an assault rifle, because it's not really that big a deal having to max out my standard weapons as early on as possible.
The UNN Pierce is ferrying liberated political prisoners back home from their detention near Saturn. The Pierce has been assigned a detachment of Marines and needs sailors to load, administer, and maintain the arms on board the ship.
So here you have the 1 point in maintenance, which allows you to keep your weapons in tip-top shape, because one of the things about this game is that your weapons actually can deteriorate and potentially break if they're in a shitty enough condition. So you have to have a maintenance ability along with disposable maintenance tools in order to fix your weapons up and make them all look spick and span.
The UNN Carfax is undertaking a mission to examine a newly discovered Class B comet approaching the outer solar system. You'll likely pick up some useful skills working with the high-tech navigation systems aboard this newly commissioned heavy cruiser.
Cyber Affinity is a general technical boost ability. Basically, the higher the cyber affinity you have, the less the difficulty of hacking stuff, like hacking, modifying, repairing stuff is. So it's actually quite nice to have a pretty high level of that, along with the usual hacking abilities or modifying abilities and stuff like that, just to make sure that you don't completely and utterly screw up what you're trying to do, because it is possible to completely fargo up stuff when you're trying to hack it and stuff like that, and the consequences of screwing it up royally are quite dire. So I'm going to grab some cyber affinity, which is quite nice. So with that done and dusted, we have our cyber affinity, and for the third year, before we actually go into our posting, we're going to have a look at one of the most pointless things ever. It actually gets me questioning what our bloody superiors actually put their time and effort into nowadays. Yeah, it's just random C-3PO wannabe protocol droid doing an incredibly derpy version of the Macarena. Good job, guys. I do not even know what the hell they were thinking doing that. It's kind of hilarious, but at the same time it makes you think, what the hell is wrong with our governments?
The Navy strongly encourages every sailor to undertake some amount of zero-G training. A year at the Yamamoto space station in Earth's orbit will more than suffice.
This gives you 2 points in agility. Agility makes you move faster. Enough said. I think that's pretty much straightforward.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io, the third moon of Jupiter. Pros, there's no better way to improve stamina and survival skills. Cons, the 21.2% mortality rate.
You also actually have the option of selecting this in the Marines, and when the Marine guy explains it to you, it also mentions having to put up with the Navy skanks. So it's clear to me that they're not really a big fan of the Navies, which kind of sucks. Endurance basically increases the amount of HP you have, because this isn't a game where you have like 100% health or something like that. You actually have like hit points, and that's one of the things about why I didn't want to do Impossible mode, because you actually start out with 7 HP, so you pretty much have to go into Endurance, and as a result, it just sort of like kind of sucks, and especially me, like I said before, the play style that I have means I take a shit ton of hits, so it's not really that great a thing to do.
The Navy's Marie Curie research facility on Aquinas 4 is currently conducting research on a new strain of spaceborne virus that killed 220,000 citizens of New Atlanta. To lift the quarantine, we must determine how the virus pierced the city's micronanite shielding.
So, research is actually quite another really awesome skill to have. A whole bunch of the enemies in the game will drop these sort of weird organ-like things, and being able to research those actually gives you a 25% increase in the damage that you do to them, which is quite awesome, especially against certain enemies that just like to just sort of sponge hits, so that once you've expended a shit ton of your bloody ammo and they're still sort of alive and kicking, you just like, what the actual crap. So having the damage boost against those sorts of enemies, which is quite nice, so that you don't completely and utterly waste your ammo or other stuff like that.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io, the third moon of...
So yeah, I'm going to do Endurance because in rehearsal I did the other week or something like that. I did I did the hard mode, and I got killed by a couple of pipe hybrids ganging up on me because I didn't have a whole lot of endurance, so getting these 2 extra points of endurance will help a fair bit.
Shuttle A-138, you have clearance for landing on the Von Braun in Shuttle Bay 2. Welcome aboard, soldier.
Initializing memory strings. Restoring patient memory. Restoring memory. Restoring memory.
Steady yourself, soldier. This is Dr. Janice Polito of the computer ops staff of the Von Braun. You're safe for the time being. You're recovering from the effects of surgery and will be unable to remember any of the events of the last few weeks. You're on board the starship Von Braun and something's gone very, very wrong. Some kind of force has hijacked this ship. That's why you volunteered to be implanted with some experimental cybernetic implants. Rely on your cyber interface. It just might save your life. You must find an elevator and come up to Deck 4 to meet me. Deck 4. Can you remember that? But keep your eyes open. They're after us both now.
I think it's been firmly established this shit certainly did go south in the 5 months that we've been on the Von Braun. Like, what the actual shit?
Watch out. I'm getting strange readings from that radar dish outside the window. It's become unstable due to... Move! Take cover!
Critical decompression hazard in the cryo recovery suite. Evacuate immediately.
Yeah, shit really did go south, didn't it? So, anyways, while it says, like, oh my god, the whole place is going to be, like, sucked into space, evacuate now, we can take as much time as we want. It's fine.
The entire sector is depressurizing and the blue vacuum shield won't last long. Get through a secure airlock before you're sucked into space. Move it!
Okay, so we've got a keycard reader, and of course we need some access in order to get to it, but hey, look at that. Conveniently, we have ourselves a card. And then here, we can't use a card to get in here now, can we? And here, we actually kind of can't hack this because we need nanites. And nanites is the currency of this game. You basically use it for money. So basically the question is, how the hell do we get out of here? Well, there is a dead body, and on this dead body is a log. And you're able to check out the logs either by using the tab key to go into use mode. There's two different modes. The shoot mode, which is this, and the use mode. And then you can have a look at that like that, but we're going to use the U key.
Great. Gotta change the access codes out of Cryo A again. Like I've got nothing better to do. I think Grassy just likes to make work for me. I'll set the new code to 45100. That should be easy enough to remember.
Okay, so the code for this is 45100. Sweet, we're in. And you're probably in some kind of trouble. Oh, jeez. Okay, he just unloaded a shotgun from a pretty far distance and managed to just cave that poor sap in. That's quite a shame.
Warning. Decompression event imminent. Please move immediately to cryo recovery B.
Oh, shut up.
Decompression event imminent.
Oh, shut up. I got as much time as I want.
This power cell is dead. There should be a recharger nearby. Just use it and it will recharge all the power-driven devices in your possession. After you've recharged the cell, plug it into the auxiliary power unit. That should open the airlock door. Be quick about it. The vacuum seals won't hold up much longer.
So, I think she's pretty much explained it. You'll find these power cells. I believe there are a grand total of 2 or 3 of these, like, yeah, throughout the whole game. Like, these power cells, we have to just plug into these overrides and stuff like that, which is kind of weird.
Good. You've managed to get out before the whole area depressurized. I've just uploaded you some cybernetic modules. You can use them to upgrade your cybernetic rig at the upgrade units in this area. There are 4 types of units in the next room, 1 for each subsystem of your cybernetic gear. Stats, psi, weapons, and tech. But use the modules carefully. They're hard to come by.
So I think she's pretty much firmly explained what the hell the gimmick of leveling up your character is, but I will show it off in person. Yeah, I'll show it off next time because we're like 25 minutes into this segment. So next time we're going to do some more exploring of this area that we've probably got no idea about, but that's yeah, I totally do. So, yeah, see you for that.